welcome to this week's video all about the chameleon. Chameleons are a type of reptile, and they have some very unique abilities to other reptiles. These reptiles can change their skin color, so they can change colors, and today I'll be sharing facts about these amazing reptiles with you. So, their diet is locusts, it looks a bit like a grasshopper, and they go in swarms. They are pests in some places. The mantis, which I'm not surprised if a mantis ate a chameleon, because if you watched my last video, you would know that mantises eat almost everything, like hummingbirds and lizards. Grasshoppers, which are straightforward, and stick insects, and crickets, and etc. Any other bugs, you know. And this is a toy chameleon eating a fly with his very long tongue. I'll tell you more about how their tongues work in a little bit. So they can live between 5 to 10 years. So if I was a chameleon, I wouldn't be alive anymore. I'm over 10 years. And so I'm glad I'm not a chameleon. So they live in different habitats like the rainforest, a forest, or a desert. They can be found in many different habitats, and some of them live in deserts, and they just use their feet to get across the sand. And sometimes if the sand is too warm, they can hop across the sand. Chameleons are found in Africa, Madagascar, Asia, and Europe. And most of the world's chameleons are in Africa and Madagascar. That's where most chameleons are. So if you ever are looking to see some chameleons, it's most recommended to go to Madagascar or Africa. And these animals are related to iguanas, which are also a reptile, but they're much bigger than chameleons. Some chameleons can get quite big. And now we're going to talk about how big they actually get. So the smallest, they can go anywhere from 5 to 8 centimeters. So that's 8 centimeters here, and this is 5 centimeters. So anywhere from here to there. Then there's the Jackson chameleon. So they can get from 23 centimeters to 33 centimeters. So somewhere from there to maybe here. So that's a bit bigger. Then the veiled chameleon. It's so big that it doesn't even, this ruler is smaller than one, but from 35 to 60, so that's twice as much as this ruler. That's a big chameleon. And then the panther, which can go from 38, which is probably somewhere around here, and then 53, which is a bit under twice the size of this. And they weigh 6 ounces. So that's about as much as 6 pencils. 3 to 6 ounces, so 3 pencils to 6 pencils. So they're not that heavy. Now there is a lot of species. There's over 160 species, and almost half of them all live in Madagascar. And so I'm going to tell you some of the species. So there's the veiled chameleon. There's the panther chameleon. The Jackson's chameleon, which is one of my favorites, and it looks just like a triceratops if they lived in trees and ate bugs and had a prehensile tail and didn't have a frill. Look at this comparison I made. They're so similar. Then there's the common chameleon, the Parsons chameleon, the largest chameleon, the Brookesia, the smallest chameleon, the Malagasy giant chameleon, which is quite large as well, the African chameleon, and the Namaqua chameleon. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And there was a misconception that people thought chameleons changed color just to blend in with their surroundings and to camouflage. And I mean, they can use that camouflage to help camouflage, but they're actually quite fast when they need to be, so they can run away. And so that's actually, instead of using it to camouflage themselves from predators, it's actually to show their mood and to attract females and things like that. So it's not just to camouflage themselves to stay safe. And they can change color in less than 20 seconds, which is very quick to change their entire body color. But some types of chameleons can't change their color. Probably most of them that live in the desert don't change color because, they're probably going to stay brown to blend in with the desert, and also there isn't many chameleons in the desert probably. And they have prehensile tails, and this means that they can hold on to things with their tails, like an extra hand. Lots of monkeys and seahorses have prehensile tails, and they use them to hang on to things so they don't fall or get blown into an ocean current, or to hang on to a tree. And they can move each eye individually, so each eye, one eye can look up, one eye can look down, one can look forward, one can look backwards. They look funny. They move their eyes in a very funny way. They have very good aim with their tongue. They have a long tongue that they can shoot out to catch their prey. Just like this one here that has caught a fly. And if there was an animal Olympics and the animals competed in an Olympic Games, the chameleon would get a bullseye, and the bow and arrow one, he wouldn't even need a bow and arrow. And their tongue can go out of their mouth at 13 miles per hour, which if you blink, you could miss it. So they can shoot it very fast. so the insect they're trying to catch won't see it coming, because if you try to swat a fly, it gets away very quickly, so that's why their tongue comes out so quickly. And when they're cold, they can turn a dark color like black or a dark brown, because black absorbs heat. My dog is very warm in the summer because he's black, and of course, like, black gets much warmer, so if a chameleon ever gets cold, they can change to a darker color to absorb heat. Almost half of all chameleons live in Madagascar. So that's about 80 species of chameleon in just one small island, which is a lot of chameleons. And the smallest lizard in the world is actually a type of chameleon. It's a Brachysia chameleon at 0.9 inches. I don't even know if I can show that on this, which is inches. This is centimeters, so this is inches. 0.9 of these. That's tiny. And they're actually quite smart species. Chameleons are actually smart. But they don't have emotions, complex emotions. No reptile does. And they can actually see colors and ultraviolet light, so they have quite good vision too. This is a veiled chameleon, if you were wondering. And something that probably lots of people have been wondering, how do chameleons change color? So how they change color is quite amazing. So how do chameleons change color? So underneath the skin, it's from these cells called iridophores. And these work like millions of little microscopic prisms. And they can move different ways with their sides. They can move different ways to reflect light in different ways, and that creates a different color, changing the color of the chameleon's skin. So that's it in a very simplified way, because I didn't even understand it if you told it to me, all the mathematics and stuff. So that's it simplified in a shorter, simpler way that's much easier to understand. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about chameleons. The answer to last week's question about what is the only herbivorous sea mammal is the manatee. So if you guessed manatee, shout out to my daddy who got it correct, and my auntie who got it correct, and my other auntie, which I think she Googled, but she's got it right. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. And
Have you a question today?
Oh yes, this week's question is, I haven't thought about it. I'll edit it in when I'm editing the video. So I'll see you next week. Goodbye.